Hey, what is up, guys? It's your boy, Kingdom Soldier, back again with another gameplay slash commentary. Most of you guys know that I am a store manager at Starbucks, and if you don't, you do now. And so, being a boss, it's fun, it's cool, but some of the challenges of being a manager are working way too many hours, and then also I am the first line and last line of defense for the business. So I have to hire people, I have to fire people, I have to discipline people with, write-ups and things like that. And my job is to consistently be coaching my team and motivating them and inspiring them to just do more and help our store be bigger and better and grow our business. So about a year ago, I hired a guy, and we're going to call him, we're going to change his name, and we're going to call him Mike. So I hired Mike, and Mike's hiring was not optimal. It's like I hired this girl, and she decided she wasn't going to show up on her first day. And then when I called her, she told me that she had gotten this internship and just forgot to tell me. And I was so disappointed on the phone. I just was like, okay, all right, have a good one. Yeah, I hope I never talk to you again. It was just all bad. And so I called Mike and I said, hey, Mike, I was going to wait till, later in the year to hire you, but I can hire you now. The person that I was going to hire, it fell through. And Mike was like, well, I already got another job. And I was like, oh, okay, well, can you work here at all? And Mike was like, yeah, and so we looked at the shifts that we already had scheduled for this girl that kind of, decided to flake out. And Mike was able to work some of those shifts, but not all of them. So Mike's training took a little bit longer than it should have, than it could have, I'll say. It didn't take very long, but then it could have. And to kind of add on to that, Mike was a slower learner. And so about 6 to 8 months into Mike being an employee at my store, he was starting to get the hang of things, but the one thing that he still struggled with was relating on like a friend level to the employees at the store. And I'm not, as the manager, allowed at all to be, friends with my employees. It would be a conflict of interest because I give them reviews, I determine their raises, and things like that. And I'm their boss, and so ultimately it's unethical. And so and it's kind of, it does suck when you're the only person at your job that can, you can't be friends with anyone. There's not two managers, and so I kind of can't be friends with anybody I work with except for other managers at other stores. And Mike was struggling to be friends with the other baristas, even though that was one of the things that makes my store great, is that my partners, they love each other. They love working together, and they have a lot of fun. They joke around. So I hired this other guy at this point, and his name, we'll call him Phil. And I'm changing these names to protect the identities of the innocent. I just had to say that. It doesn't really matter. You guys, you're never going to find my store unless you live in Washington State. Don't come to find me, though, because I'll be like, Kingdom Soldier, who is that? Anyway, sorry I ran off on that rabbit trail, guys. But so I hired this guy, Phil. And Phil had been bugging me for about 4 months to get a job. And so I liked his persistence. Finally, I gave him an interview, and then I made him wait like another month, and then I hired Phil. And because Phil was a regular customer and he was in the store all the time, everyone knew him. So from like day one, Phil was friends with everybody that worked at my store. And he was Facebook friends with them. They were talking and giggling and laughing. And the customers knew who he was because he lives in the area. He was a customer. And so he immediately was a huge core part of the team, like within weeks of starting at the store. He just had to learn how to do the job, and that was it. And one day, Mike came to me, and he said, and this is his exact quote, he said, "Why is Michael Jordan Michael Jordan?" And I was like, okay, what are you trying to say, Mike? I don't understand. And Mike said, can anybody else be Michael Jordan? And I kind of understood where he was going with this and what he was talking about. And we had seen some behavior, that made us think, well, maybe he's a little jealous of Phil. And so what I did is I said, well, Mike, Michael Jordan is Michael Jordan, because he's supposed to be Michael Jordan. Nobody else can be Michael Jordan, or ever will be, even though we spend all of our time talking about Kobe and LeBron and Melo and Wade and all these guys trying to be Michael Jordan, but ultimately there will not be another Mike. There can be someone that plays like him, but Michael Jordan is Michael Jordan because he was supposed to be Michael Jordan. And the only person that could have stopped him from being Michael Jordan is himself. And, you know, Mike kind of looked at me and said, okay, I get it. And I just told him, I said, you know, look, and this is a thing that I hope you guys take with yourselves, you know, in any endeavor in your life. I just said, don't get caught in the comparison trap. That's the most dangerous thing that can happen to you at your job, is to get caught in the comparison trap. And you start comparing yourself with someone, some new person or someone else that seems to be advancing faster than you, and you start asking questions. And Mike was like, okay. Now, Mike doesn't work for me anymore, but he still works for Starbucks. He works at a different store. But this was a really weird, you know, really tough conversation for me to have, because I understood what he was going through. And to be honest with you guys, I've gone through the same thing as a commentator. I was listening to a commentary last week by, we'll say, an unnamed guy. You can probably figure it out, you know, if you really go digging. But this guy put up a video. It was 92-6 was the score. I think it was a, you know, domination, ground war domination or something like that. And halfway through the commentary, and he did get a Moab, halfway through the commentary, he apologizes for a weak game. He apologized for a 92-6. And I just kind of sat there like, man, if he's apologizing and calling a 92-6 a weak game, then I suck. And I thought I was a good player. I made a video, and I'll put a link to it right now on the screen in the annotation, or a link in the description, called "Is YouTube Helpful?" and just talked about the danger of watching these great players, and how good players like myself or one of you guys, or even average players, you know, we try to change our game and adjust to play like these guys because we want what they have, you know. And sometimes as a commentator you think, well, I gotta get a Moab, you know, I'm a YouTube commentator, I can't not have a Moab. Well, you know, these guys are uploading Moab gameplay every day. And then I had to remind myself and think about guys like Woody's Gamertag, who's had one Moab, Wings of Redemption, who doesn't upload Moabs very often, XJaw, CNanners, who is uploading games off his iPad, you know, with over 1 million subscribers. White Boy, I think he does one Moab a week, you know. And I asked myself, how often are these guys, the largest channels on YouTube, how often are they uploading these Moabs? Now, these Moab monsters, these guys, you know, the guys that are just uploading Moabs all the time, and it's like in your sub box you see these colorful double Moab, triple Moab, fastest Moab on the planet ever in the whole world. Oh my gosh, it's miraculous Moab. They're good. And I'm not telling you guys that you can't be better. You can always be better. But best, in order to be best, like a Michael Jordan, best, it takes gift or consistent investment in development. Whether it's your job, your education, your marriage, your faith, your gaming, even your commentary will improve and get better with consistent investment in development in those skills and those abilities. And if you consistently put time in on the sticks, and every great player, the first thing they'll tell you is practice, 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 practice. You know, Fearcrad's probably one of the best players on YouTube. When he talks about how to improve your game, how to be better at Call of Duty. Practice, 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 practice. That's what he preaches. Practice. You know, if you want to get good at basketball, practice. If you want to be a better husband, practice being a good husband. You know, I mean, in reality, you know, you want to be a better Christian, you want to have a better relationship with God, practice reading your Bible, practice praying. I mean, it's kind of obvious, you know. Practice. That old adage of practice makes perfect that you used to hear all the time, it's the truth. It is the truth. I hope that none of you guys watch my gameplays and then go back and say, man, I'm not as good as Kingdom, you know. I could be better. I got to be better. I got to improve. I got to get more kills, you know. And that's why I upload gameplays like this. I think in this game I went 41 and 20. You know, 41 is a lot of kills, but 20 is a lot of deaths. But that's how I play Domination. I play to win, and I don't mind dying. I can be better, and I'm going to consistently invest in being better. And you can be better as well at everything you do. And I'm challenging you to consistently invest. And don't get caught in the comparison trap. This is Kingdom Soldier. I'll see you in the next video. Peace.